What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another daily Manchester City transfer update. If you want to stay up to date on YouTube first and fast every single day with all the latest Manchester City transfer news, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. It is free. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Tip-top link also in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. Do let me know your thoughts, what you make of these transfers in the comments below. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. So we're going to start off this video with the contract news, and we've got the very latest on Bernardo Silva now. Simon Mullock says that Manchester City have offered Bernardo Silva a new 2-year extension to his current contract. His current deal expires in the summer of 2025. Offering him a 2-year extension will extend his deal to 2027 and would be, if he signs it, a 4-year contract. Now, Manchester City have given him a big pay rise in this new proposal. Manchester City apparently willing to give Bernardo Silva £300,000 a week. They are awaiting the response from Bernardo Silva with whether he wants to sign this new deal with Manchester City or whether he wants to pursue an exit away from City. At the moment, no team has met Manchester City's value, which Simon Mullock says is still at £70 million. To me, that is far too low for the importance of Bernardo Silva. Riyad Mahrez looking like he's going to leave Manchester City. We cannot be selling Bernardo Silva for just £70 million this summer and losing two top-class right wingers for a combined income of £100 million for two senior, experienced, world-class players, in my complete honest opinion. So, to me, I'd be asking for north of £100 million here just for Bernardo Silva, with how important he is to Manchester City. He's now even more important to Manchester City with Riyad Mahrez leaving, which means we should be pricing teams out of a move here for Bernardo Silva. But it all depends on what Bernardo Silva wants to do. Does he want to stay? Does he want to leave? That remains to be seen. One thing I am keeping my eye on, I'm not expecting Man City to make a move for Kylian Mbappe from PSG. However, PSG are a club that are interested in Bernardo Silva, and all of a sudden an exit for Mbappe this summer opens up the potential of maybe bringing in Bernardo Silva, having the funds there, and also needing some players to play in their attack, because losing Lionel Messi and losing Kylian Mbappe in the same summer for PSG is massive, and they will need replacements. They'll be looking for class players that are affordable, like Bernardo Silva. £70 million to me, a little low. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get Bernardo on a new deal. Now, moving on to the outs, we've got the very latest on Issa Kabore. Now, Fabrizio Romano says he's set to sign a new deal at Manchester City. It's going to keep him here until 2027. He's set to join Luton Town on loan for the season. There isn't going to be an option to buy. This deal is close to being sorted, and Issa Kabore, he's a right back, is going to become the latest signing for Luton Town as they bid to try and remain a Premier League team past this season, of course, newly promoted. Interesting to see how Issa Kabore does in the Premier League. May Manchester City here have a potential option for a fullback already with the club? Remains to be seen. Did spend last season out on loan at Marseille in France. Highly rated, so it'll be interesting to see how he does with Luton and in the Premier League as well. Now, moving on, we've got the very latest on Joao Cancelo, and Simon Mullock says that despite Joao Cancelo heading to Japan with Manchester City on the pre-season tour, there is no way back for him at Manchester City. But I think the biggest problem here is we haven't got a suitor for Joao Cancelo. Man City will not sell Cancelo to another Premier League team, because if Man City were to let other Premier League teams know that Cancelo is available, I'll tell you right now, City would not only be able to sell Cancelo, they'd be able to get a really good price for him as well. But if you're not going to sell to another Premier League team, I presume Cancelo isn't interested in a move outside of Europe. There aren't many teams out there that want Cancelo and can afford Cancelo and also afford to pay his wages unless he's willing to take a big wage cut. So we're at a bit of a standstill when it comes to Joao Cancelo, and I don't really know how we're going to resolve this. And I feel like the same can be said here for Aymeric Laporte. I don't know how we resolve that situation. We could sell him to a Premier League team. There'd be lots of interest, and there'd be teams that can afford him. Outside of the Premier League, though, Man City would have to accept a smaller fee. He'd have to take a wage cut, and he'd have to make a move that he more than likely doesn't want to make, unless it's to be a loan deal to a club that he does want to join. And to me, loaning Cancelo and loaning Laporte doesn't really help Manchester City from a financial point of view. It just escalates things another 12 months for Manchester City to get that sorted. So I don't know what's going to happen. A little bit of a mess, if I'm completely honest. Anyway, moving on, Kyle Walker. Got the very latest on him, and Sky Sports News says that Kyle Walker, he wants to speak this week with Bayern Munich about a move there. A fee hasn't been agreed. Manchester City, I don't think, are happy for Kyle Walker to speak with Bayern Munich until the numbers have been crunched and a deal has been agreed. Manchester City want to sit down face-to-face in a meeting with Bayern Munich next week, as we are facing Bayern in a pre-season friendly in Japan. Whilst we're both there, City want to sit down, talk about Kyle Walker, negotiate the price, and then Kyle Walker can have his move sanctioned for him to become a Bayern Munich player. So we'll see what happens there with Kyle Walker and joining Bayern Munich from Manchester City. Interesting to say the least. The City going to want to replace him. That remains to be seen. I am going to have a video out this weekend speaking about potential replacements for Kyle Walker. One thing I am going to say about Kyle Walker, it is believed that if a sale is sanctioned by Manchester City, then it's not going to be a swap deal involving Benjamin Pavard. If Man City want Benjamin Pavard, they'll have to sit down and negotiate a separate deal with Bayern Munich rather than including him in this deal. So we'll see what direction we go in. Now, moving on to the ins, we can't not speak about Josko Gvardiol right now, and Simon Stone, pretty reliable, has given us some updates, and he says that the big hold-up over the last few weeks has always been the price. The simple equation here is RB Leipzig want 100 million euros. Man City aren't going to be paying 100 million euros. They don't value him at 100 million euros, and that pretty much is that. If Man City aren't going to pay that 100 million euros, we're not going to sign Josko Gvardiol this summer. RB Leipzig are pointing Man City towards next summer and saying actually they would prefer to sell Gvardiol next summer rather than this summer. But there is no negotiations when it comes to Gvardiol next summer. RB Leipzig are pointing towards a release clause that is active in his contract from next summer, which is higher than 100 million euros, which is baffling to say the least, because a player that's valued at 100 million euros now has 1 year less on his contract but has a release clause active, which means he's valued more next summer than he is this summer. Doesn't really make sense. What's the response of Gvardiol going to be here for this transfer? I feel like if he wants that Man City move, he's going to have to tell RB Leipzig he wants that Man City move. Here's a transfer request. That then may put Leipzig in a situation where they may want to negotiate that price, or Man City pay that 100 million euros. And just a little bit of speculation here, I feel like Man City are dragging their heels, not just for price, but Man City are stacked when it comes to defenders. We haven't had the future of Kyle Walker sorted. We don't know what's happening with Cancelo and Laporte. Until we have movement of these players, there isn't really an opening for our defence. We bring Gvardiol in and we end up keeping hold of Laporte and Cancelo and Walker, and all of a sudden there's going to be a lot of unhappy players because we've got too many players for one position. So it'll be very interesting to see how Man City sort that one out. I presume if Kyle Walker does leave City, we'll be looking for a player that can cover on that right-hand side. Gvardiol's a player that will cover on that left-hand side, and I feel like more so, a lot depends on what happens with Aymeric Laporte. And if Man City end up pushing this deal too quickly for Gvardiol, then all of a sudden, Aymeric Laporte will have to leave Manchester City. Clubs aren't willing to pay the price. We're not going to sell to another Premier League team. It means later on in the window, City will panic and Laporte will end up leaving on loan with an option to buy. And as I said, not best for business, not best for our numbers, not best for our net spend. So something has to give. Are we going to stick with what we've got, or are we going to be able to move these players on and have some movement with Josko Gvardiol? We seem to be going round in circles. Very frustrating, but also very unique. and very interesting. Every single day I'm going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest on Josko Gvardiol and all the other transfers involving Manchester City. This is going to be a very, very busy end of July and very busy throughout August, I am sure. You want to stay up to date first and fast on YouTube with all the latest Manchester City transfer news every single day. Subscribe to my channel, it is free. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on to be notified immediately when I do upload. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description below and slide across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. TikTok link also in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Do let me know your thoughts, what you make of these transfers in the comments below. And we'll be back again tomorrow for another daily Manchester City transfer update. Also got my live watch along of Manchester City's first pre-season match where we're taking on Yokohama F. Marinos tomorrow. Going live at 10:45 a.m. BST. Link's already out to that. Go and set your reminders. I'll see you for that. And of course, we'll be able to have a little bit of transfer talk in there, I am sure, as well. So I'll see you then. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.